Welcome everyone to the penultimate round of Sunday League X, or 10th season, our annual season. And today we're in Brno, Czech Grand Prix. It's snowy here and cold, and so FLF decided to change their car to something more, contrasty, so you can actually see it on the track, and so they went for the black livery. Meanwhile, Lynx Racing went for the iconic Season 6 livery, which is, in my opinion, the best Lynx Racing livery ever. So we can see Nuno going with 29.43. He's going on his second lap now. Razim with only 500 seconds behind Nuno, yet Pimushes actually being the fastest one yet. So we can see that yours isn't that far from. Never mind. Nom's car just put it 29.03 here, and we're heading to the final lap of the qualifying for the Czech Grand Prix. Gamer 15 is 29.08. And I think no one will break the sub 29 barrier unless... Nope. At least I can't see it yet. Well, I certainly don't see it yet. Anyways, Namskar put it on pole with 29.03. Nice result for him after having to change the suspension on his car. Gamer 15 lines up second, only 500 seconds behind. Then comes Dynamite. It's 1400. No, 14. Never mind. He's 0.19 behind Nomskar. Razim only 100 seconds behind his teammate. The anti-amazing qualifying in 5th place. That's amazing for him. Nuno in 6th. Pretty mediocre result for him. Then comes Knandi with a 29.33. Pimushes lines up 8th with a 29.35. Czech is in 9th. It's again the top 10 qualifying result for him in Brno. Then comes Jarno Truly with 29.43. 1/10 faster, slower than his teammate. Then we can see Grandi lining up 11th, and that's around 28 10th second difference between him and the anti-amazing. Jurist lines up 12th with a 29.57. Then Kubo already two. Okay, let me count that. He is 25 tenths seconds slower than Jurist. Kesley in impressive 14th with a 30.02. Then lines up Kraft with a 30.10. Giruni lines up 16th. Then Zekisverse on his debut return to Sunday League. So there we go, racing here in Sunday League. Let's be nice to each other, boys. Sivas puts Inters. I'm not mistaken. No, I'm not mistaken. He puts Inters. Oh no, that's a mistake. Gamer goes into the lead now, and he collects a train behind him. Razim goes to the grass. That's very bad for him.
And Nom's well down the order here as well. Starting from pole position on the front row. Gamer just alongside him in the lead. Danimator now takes it back off him. Nuno in 3rd place in that new LYR livery. Anti in the blue NTH in 4th. Gamer goes for the lead into turn 1 and he gets it off Danimator. That's fantastic overtake from the Dutchman. Pamusha just takes off Razim in the background there. Gets a penalty for it. Winds his way back through. Nom's down to 8th position already. Grandi looking to go up the inside of him. They wind through the middle sector now as Anti follows Nuno through it. Danimator down the inside of Gamer into the bottom right hairpin. Can he get it? Both of them just about avoid the snow there, and Nuno comes in from behind them. looking to take that slipstream all the way down the main straight. The two title rivals go at it again into turn 1. Danny has the room left to him on the outside. We've got a 5-car pack for the lead here at the moment in Brno. Levy, the start, what was it like?
It was pretty much calm, but with its own uniqueness. And actually, I spotted that Sivast put the wrong tires. He put the inters, and so he did a pit stop already.
Terrible for him, Sua said. Well down the order, well off the back of the pack, and not at all what the Scuderia Paracara team have been fighting to stay up in contention in recent races. That's not what they want at all. Nuno goes through. Big lag rocket into the wall. Anti and Gamer both there taken off. Nuno forces and Andy slightly wide, but Gamer and Anti, the big losers there. It looks so uncanny as they went 3 wide through the middle sector. You knew something was going to happen at a track like this, and it did happen. Gamer from 2nd place down to 5th. Nuno into the lead, and Nuno into 2nd place. Danimator still holding the lead. Gamer sneaks to the outside of Hernandi, and Anti winding through the chicanes and gets the back of Anti's car, going through the snow there, hits a big pile of it, and doesn't look like he'll be in contention at all higher up. Rosim and Jake now looking to provide some problems for him. Gamer has the tendency sometimes just to get bogged down. Mistake leads to mistake when he gets in positions like this. And our 2 front row starters, Gamer and Nomskar, 7th and 9th for them now. Rosim, one of the first drivers into the pit lane, first of the non-mistakers, obviously had into the pit lane as well, Sua said, on lap 1. Maybe a puncture, maybe just a wrong tyre choice for him at the very start of the race. Zek is first back. After 68 weeks, 51 races out of Sunday League, he's back in it and racing for the Scuderia Paracara team, which barely existed the last time he raced in Sunday League. Absolutely phenomenal, Lev, don't you think?
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal to see the Spanish driver coming back to the Sunday League.
Just outstanding. We have Truly and Kraft fighting it out at the back. Truly has put on some new tyres, goes around the outside of Kraft, who's not going to provide too much of an issue. Nomskar now well down the order as well. 14th place for him after he comes in for some fresh hard tyres. Hards look to be the tyre of option for those who have pitted so far. Only Anti and Jake taking the soft. Truly has as well. Our top bunch, Danny and Nuno. Pimu goes on for that glory lap lead that he so loves. And Uris will file through in 3rd place. Kubo in 4th as the front runners all emerge from the pit lane. Jiruni putting pressure on here as well. Kubo yet to stop. He's on the mediums. Jiruni on the hard. So you're expecting more longevity from the likes of Uris and Jiruni, who have obviously the harder compound of tyre. Kubo makes a mistake there, just skids wide on the exit of the chicane, and he will let Danny and Nuno through now. They're not really his race to race. He's extending this first stint in the hope that he wouldn't take an early stop, maybe back him up into the pack, which is absolutely not what you want as a midfield driver. Jiruni goes wide at the first corner and lets in these drivers. Sort of a situation akin to blue flags from back in the day. Let's see how good Uris will be at this. Will he hold up Danny? You bet he will try to. And he allows Nuno the opportunity to go through, and Danny's been taken well off the track. He just dived to the inside of Nuno there. Rather than backing out, he was already in a very adverse position. And he's been rocketed out again with Grandy. It was the race lead for him before. It certainly isn't anymore. Danimator down to the 7th position. This is terrible for him. But Lynx run 1st and 2nd for the first time in the history of the team. Nuno ahead of Uris, the 2 Iberians for the Iberian team, finishing lap 9 in 1st and 2nd position. A big angry train of cars behind. Pamushas, the first contender. Uris just sweeps him again to the inside. He loves putting people in the snow. Crikey. Nuno running away with it at the moment. We have a Uris train of about 10 cars behind him. Truly to the inside. Anti goes there too. Uris surely won't have the grip to fight this anymore, but he's still not coming to the pit lane. One of the only drivers. Anti off the track. It's carnage here. Pamushas and Grandy file through. Danny got through nicely there. Gamer here as well. Oh my lord, what is this? Oh my lord, what a fantastic crash. Nomskar goes all the way around for the 2nd consecutive race. We've had a belter of a lag rocket there, and Nomskar is down to 15th position from pole. That was unbelievable. Levy, your thoughts on that?
That was a freaking bizarre crash. And the fact that it was that heavy and had that many cars was truly very funny.
It was
You can count that as 6 vehicles in that large crash. That is the largest high-impact crash we've ever seen in the Sunday League's history.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. Love that from Goose. Jake into the pit lane. Seems about the only place on the track where a driver will be safe currently. Even then, we'll probably get a collision in the pits later on, so I wouldn't bank on that. Hernandi and Gamer, 5th and 4th. Grandy up in 3rd place. This has benefited him quite nicely, but let's have a look at the tyres, because they're always important. Top 3, all on the hards. The ones behind, less so. So Nuno and Danny, same life. Grandy's, I think, a lap older. Gamer and Hernandi. Gamer on the softs, which he believes are the tyre to go with. Hernandi on the mediums, much fresher for him. Pimu's mediums, about the same life, truly on the hards. And then we've got Anti, who just came into the pit lane. Looks like he's put on some new hards. He's one of the only 2 stoppers so far. Kubo and Jaruni, Jake and Razim, and Nomskar. And you have to say, although you can't really partition blame to him, if anyone here has played F1 2012, there seems a tendency from the AI not to want to overtake you. And Eurus was in that position right there with about 9 cars behind his rear diffuser, all trying to get past, none of them managing it as Noms looks to attack Razim, and this race has gone absolutely out of the window. He was the worst affected by far of the early runners, and the man who started alongside him on the front row, Gamer, has put on some new hards and is the car behind him on the racetrack. Noms looking to come in pretty soon off his current ones as he goes through on Razim. Further up, Jake and Kubo. This is currently the fight over 8th and 7th position. And Pamushis and Truly further up as well. Grandy, the other NTH, into the pit lane. Really interesting to see where he emerges. We've got a total mix of strategies. Drivers on all tyres at the moment. Grandy does come out into the racetrack. He is in 8th position. Out of any race that I've seen this season, maybe in this league, as Kubo lets his teammate through quite tactfully there. Jaruni breezing through as well in that new look VEO for their final ever 2 races in the sport, having existed since Season 4, Round 4. Oh, nearly a rocket there. Pimu just backs out of it in time, I think, but they were definitely skidding towards that final corner. And Hernandi, Danny, and Nuno is still your front 3. Hernandi looking for his first podium since the Hungarian Grand Prix, his home race, which he won. Yeah, really fascinating crash. Really mixed up grid is what I was going to say. We've got a lot of drivers, sort of upper midfielders, you'd call them, all competing in and around sort of 6th, 7th, Nomskar, 9th, 10th, Gamer in 11th. So we'll have to see how the championship contenders can weed their way back through. But Danny, who looked to be not out for the count, but massively disadvantaged by early crashes, is now in a great position coming out of the pit lane, and he's cleared the chasing pack. So Gamer, in order to stay intact with that title fight, which he's 12 points behind in currently, will need to make some moves and get some overtakes done. Grandy and Pamushis fighting. We'll go to Levy for your comment.
Well, I have seen some battles between Truly and Pamushis, and well, Pamushis is still quite aggressive, but weather marker moves.
Weather marker moves. The sun.
Gamer is quite nicely working his way up through the grid.
We're gonna have a snow!
We're gonna have a snow. Gamer works his way up. Hernandi, who just came into the pit lane, will be really interesting. So obviously this could be a fake snow. Never trust the snow in this game. Pamushis is in, Kubo, Gwetzli, and Kraft all also in. Pimu took the inters, the other 3 much lower down there on the wets. It will be really interesting to see how the drivers gamble here. Will Danny come into the pit lane? No, he doesn't, but Truly does. It is fake. It's going away basically instantly. This has massively benefited Danny, massively benefited Nuno, and Gamer, who gets the good straw on rain calls, probably for the first time in his career. Amazingly for him, back up into 3rd place. He was 11th just a few laps ago. This has been a chaotic opening few laps in Brno. We're not even halfway through the race. Gamer takes a big cut, and Andy follows him. That's probably not the racing line. Grandy and Anti right behind 6th and 7th for the NTHs, 4th and 5th for the LSAs. Gamer at the head of them. We get a little team radio currently. We might just wait for him to bend through this middle sector. But we've got Nuno with us in the commentary communications. Nuno, how's the race been for you so far? I think he might be wired in and focused, so fair enough for that. Danimator in 2nd still. Gamer being passed by Hernandi back for 3rd place. Hernandi pitted right before that, didn't come into box again, which would have been a bad call. So drivers who have pitted 3 times have been what we call proper shafted by that. NTH's big, bright blue there. I mean, that's an amazing livery to end the season off for them. Apparently take it into next season, but I would never trust Anti on something like that. Big train of cars working their way through the middle sector. Anti and Grandy getting a little bit spicy in the background. We've got the NTHs, we've got the LSAs, we've got Gamer, and we've got a bloody race on our hands at the moment. Hanandi holding on to that final podium spot with about 4 incredibly experienced Sunday League drivers looking to hunt it off him. Grandy takes Truly wide at the final corner. That's a penalty that will lose him position to Truly and Anti. Won't mind that too much because Anti is, well, his teammate, and there will be team orders surely because Anti's on very, very worn hards compared to Grandy's mediums, and Nom's on slightly older mediums chasing right behind. So Anti surely needs to invert the cars at some point in the lap. These 3 that are fighting just outside the podium positions still not swapping any positions. Will we see some down into the great overtaking spot of turn 1? Truly sneaks up the inside of Gamer, nearly there for the LSAs. Gamer is going to try and wreak as much havoc. He would absolutely adore a repeat of their Russian antics last race at Sochi with the big spin and lag rocket into the wall there. One of the biggest crashes we've seen until today. Gamer and Hanandi, 3rd and 4th, very, very fast drivers. We'll have a little look further down. Nomskar in 8th currently, Rozim in 9th, and Jaruni looking for a rare but solid top 10 finish for him. Eurus in 11th after being up in 2nd place. Pimu was fighting him for that. They're now down in 11th and 12th. That was a huge race-deciding crash that we saw. And with the alternating strategies, obviously, we have drivers into the pits basically every single lap because nobody could decide what they'd like. Gamer is on the softs. He's the highest runner on them. We've got the hard runners of Jaruni and Rozim right ahead. Rozim with significantly older hards. So we've got very similar life for Grandy and Truly on their mediums. Noms is slightly older. We get Zek into the pit lane. He's down in 17th. His teammate is the only car on track behind him as Noms mugs Grandy into turn 1. Levy.
Well, I just scrolled up through the fastest times, and I think Truly has the fastest lap so far with a 29.23.
Good to know.
I have the casualty list from that rain event as well. The biggest losers on that tire change fiasco was Pamushis heading down from 4th place to 11th, Jake down from around 7th to 12th, and also Kubo was up at 8th at one point, but he dropped from about 9th or 10th down to 14th after those tires were sorted out.
Big shame for him there. I mean, that midfield pack was looking really competitive as Anti lets Noms through. Not his team. What kind of team game is this? He's just letting the FLF run away. He's trying to attack him, I think, a little bit here. But Noms goes to the inside of Jaruni now. Jaruni passed by 3 cars in one corner. That is brutal. He's down to 9th place, but he wasn't in much position to fight those fresh stoppers on his significantly old hards. Double stop for LSA. Don't think they've messed that up, but Truly is right in the clutches of Noms. Bumps him off the track. Good on you, pal. He's pushed right into the snow by Anti. Noms and Grandy, can they flank him? Grandy pulls out slightly, not wanting to get committed into there. Noms still right behind Truly, takes a big cut. Noms hits the back of him. 3-car train once again. This might let Anti just get away a little bit. Similar tire strats for all around Anti on the slightly older hard compound tire. Noms on the mediums. Are we going to go 3 by turn 1? Noms tries it up the inside. This is fantastic racing from the 2 drivers. He goes again into the chicane. Truly closes the door on the exit. There wasn't really a gap to be exploited, and he fields off Anti on the exit there as well. That's incredible to see. Higher up, Gamer chasing down Danimator at the current moment. Gamer on medium worn softs, standing on pretty fresh hards. Gamer's teammate Kraft into the pit lane. He's fighting down in the final few positions at the minute. Doesn't look like Gamer, unless he can somehow keep Danny's slipstream, but you don't want to be on old softs on this track. It's a big wear intensive track, particularly this corner right here. Never ever want to be sliding and skidding around because it's an icy track and many bad things can happen. Truly, oh, nearly gets in the way of Noms there, tries to push him wide a little bit. Grandy down the inside. These NTHs proving a menace so far. Grandy has to back out as a whole train of cars plows down his inside into one of those final chicanes down there. Will Truly try a re-overtaking. This has got to be the most overtakes of any race I've done so far this season because, Jesus Christ, these lot are scrapping hard. Behind them, you'll find Rozim, 9th place, looking solid for Mayhem. I get a little bit of lag. Looks clear up now. Jaruni and Eurus, then Pimu and Jake fighting down outside the points, not outside the points, outside the top 10. Used to doing SLV. Very easily could have been inside the top 10 at the moment, but not to be with that big rain and obviously the crashing earlier that affected many, many drivers. Jake, I think, just pulled to one side to let Pimu through, which looks to be the wise call. Pimu on much, much fresher mediums. Back to the scrappers. Anti still at the head of this mini train. Truly right behind him. This is all just fighting over 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th in actual fact. So interesting to see that. Kraft, the lapped car, ghosted currently. Anti and Truly, oh dear, he just skids across the snow there. 4 wide nearly into the final corner. Truly nearly into the pit lane. Nomskar still frustrated behind this pack. Gamer will emerge right behind the lot of them. That is poor strategy from the RMC crew. Absolutely not where you want to be putting your driver on a racetrack behind a battling pack of 4 very hungry hippos. Hernandi in 3rd, Danny in 2nd, a long way off the race leader. 12 laps left, 13 just about here in Brusno. Danimator 2nd still, Hernandi in 3rd. Really interesting to see Hernandi, if he can get a podium today, how that will affect his end of the season as well as LSA, because all the points will matter. They go 3 wide again. Jesus Christ. Look at this. Gamer now in the midst of this pack needs to just tear through them as fast as he can.
We're gonna have a snow.
We are going to have a snow as they wind their way through the middle sector. Gamer past nearly all of them. Can he get through on Grandy before the snow starts to fall down here in Beno? Will get through into the chicane, and that's been timed quite nicely. The big question again, are they going to pit? They all do. Gamer with a terrible entry to the pit lane. Takes way too much snow on the entry. Hits the back of Razim. And he's right back at the end of that train. I think he might have been pushed by Truly. No, maybe it was anti-pushed by Truly, judging by that reaction. The race leaders have enough of a gap, this won't matter. But oh, dearie me. Danny, well, going nice and slowly here. But again, the bait rain, the bait snow, sorry. Wouldn't have mattered all too much for Nuno.
Pamush did not take wets. He's still on mediums.
Interesting. Can Pimu gain massively when all these drivers have to come in the next lap or two? Will it be this lap that they come in? Will it be the next lap? Rozim dives in this lap, as does Nomskar. Fascinating. Rozim takes that nice 2nd pit box, or 3rd maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it was 2nd.
It's probably going to work out fine for Truly, but Grandy and Gamer...
Oh, speak of the devil. Jesus. What a crash that was into the wall. They've got to do the rest of the lap on the wets. Gamer nearly had a good strategy.
Whoa!
Oh! This is turning into a thriller, boys. Don't discount them just yet. Hernandi just into the pit lane, off his mediums, which needed changing anyways. He's onto the wets now, so he's fine with that. The Inter's going to be best suited to the conditions currently, with it being dry, and now the snow will start to just come down on the track. Danny and Nuno have such huge gaps, it's sort of inconsequential. And it looks like the wets are the way to go here. Who's on the Inters? Only Trulli on the entire field. We've got white and blue, hards and wets. And Nuno and Danny will be coming into the pit lane as soon as they can. Nuno leaving it a very long time. This surely can't be fake Nuno, but he's got such a gap. It's basically a flaunt at this point. Trulli will take 2nd place. This will be his... one of his multiple 2nd places this season. He got it in Hungary and he got a win in Belgium, of course. Let's see how this has affected those lower down. Gamer and Grandy, despite that lag rocket, still in 5th and 6th. Still can't keep their hands off each other. Danny did come in. He's now behind Hernandi. Really interesting. He looked pretty in control out in 2nd place. Nuno finally into the pit lane. And it has made absolutely bugger all difference because he had such a gap out in the lead. I mean, take notes, drivers, teams, everywhere, as Hernandi and Danny go side by side. Former LSA teammates, can they sort their differences out here? As Danny left the team to join Mayhem, his brand new team from last season. Yeah, this is a pro tip. If you want to be able to gamble on strategy and you're a driver or a team in Sunday League, just have a big enough gap that it wouldn't really matter anyways, because I think that's what Nuno's been doing. It seems to work relatively well. Can we get both LSAs on the podium here? Double podiums for a team incredibly rare in Sunday League. LSA are the only team to do it since season 6, I think. Yeah, it's unbelievably rare. Levy, any thoughts from you at the moment?
I'm just speechless because I didn't expect my boys to be that high today. I mean, seriously.
Ooh.
Oh.
Truly's Inter's starting to not work so well. Let's see if the track could dry quickly enough to save his bacon from the likes of Gamer and Grandy, who are lower down. But Danny, with his in regards to the championship, is definitely within touching distance. Hernandi backs off there. Looks like we might have snow to the end of the race because we've got more light snow coming. We'll see just briefly how this changed the lower order. Razim in 7th, good for him. Nomskar 8th, Pamushas 9th. Anti hugely affected there, 10th place for him, fighting Urist at the moment. Jaruni in 12th and Jake in 13th, his teammate right behind him. Kubo, then it's Kraft and Gwetsley slogging it out, the two CL Journeyman League drivers. Zeki's first and Suicide, the SCPs, are the final two. Danimator and Hernandi still fighting Gamer and Trulli. Oh, they've shown so much respect to each other previously, but Trulli has no grip on those inters. Flying off the track goes him. Flying off the track goes Gamer. It looks like 4th place might be a good result here, but not a huge way up to Hernandi and Danny still. The drawing of the track will be really interesting because if sun is announced now, or cloud is announced now, it might just get there for the very end of the race. We've not got a fight for the win, but we've got a fascinating battle for the podium. Gamer looking to gap Grandy, then Trulli, and further up Hernandi, right behind Danny and Nuno, who's out in the lead of the race. Midfield battles, where are they? Urist coming after him, Jaruni, Kubo, Gwetsley and Kraft still going at it. Love to see this from the boys. Oh, Kraft not great through that corner. He'd like to take another 15th place today, tying his best finish in the league thus far. Grandy and Gamer still fighting. This is 4th place. Gamer in. There's only 3 laps left. Trulli's done the same. That's an amazing gamble, if it can work. They've gone for opposite tyres, which is fascinating. Gamer just didn't think his rubber would last to the end of the race. And he can make up some positions here, and I think that's a really interesting strategy. But is it just too wet for those inters to actually be within their operating window? He's gifted 4th place to Grandy, which would be Grandy's near best result. 2nd place in Copenhagen could have been a win that day if not for Danimator and his good strategy through the wet weather conditions. But Hernandi and Danny know they have podiums pretty much secured. Big snow coming back and the wet's looking to be the tyre to be on once again. Gamer will not be happy with that despite his much fresher inters. Inter just wasn't the tyre to be on today, and it was a poor strategy to go in late for the inters. Shot himself in the foot there. Nomskar up to 5th place. For such a turbulent race he's had, he probably won't be that unhappy with a 5th place come the end of the race. Clouds are coming back. Constant weather change in this race. You love to see it. Gamer down in 7th place now behind Rozim, who is doing better despite significantly older wets. Let's see who has better grip. It is probably Rozim, despite the tyre life difference. That is fascinating to see. But none has been able to triumph Nuno, who wins the Czech Grand Prix. Danimator and Hernandi have fought race long over the podium, and it looks like it will be a Danimator 2nd place for Mayhem. Hernandi in 3rd for LSA. 4th place might go to Grandy unless Noms gets a fantastic exit side by side over the line. Not quite sure who that was. Might have been Grandy. Behind them was Rozim and Gamer in 7th. That's his title fight nearly over there. Trulli through Anti and Uris very close up to the line as well. Jaruni through 2. Then it's going to be Jake in 13th place and Kubo in 14th. This could all have serious consequences for the drivers and constructors standings, because that is, if Danny had one hand on the trophy before, he's got basically an arm round it by this point if he's not actually been able to mathematically do it. Kraft takes 15th and Gwetsley in 16th. Zekis will crawl around the end on his very, very old wets. 17th place. Can Sue actually get him? He's closing in. He's closing in. It's 1.4 now. Going to hype this up. Oh, I think Sue just might have made a little mistake there. 17th for Zekis. 18th for Suicide. What a fantastic race we had. And a confirmation of the results. Trulli took the fastest lap of the race. Nuno from Danimator from Hernandi. Nomskar out of the final corner. Picked Grandy to the line by just 0.06 of a second. Razim in 6th. Gamer in 7th. Trulli in 8th. Right behind him. Pamushas takes 9th place in the race, and Anti down in 10th yet again. The new livery not helping him from being beaten by his teammates once more. Uris 11th place right behind him. Jaruni and Jake, the VEOs. Kubo, then Kraft, Gwetsley, Zekis, and Suicide. Your thoughts on that, Levy?
It was an interesting race, and I think one of the best races so far this season, for sure.
Any other thoughts? Anybody
Hey.
who was racing? Nuno, go for it.
What the hell was happening in the minimap? I was seeing like 6 cars like on the massive battle was.
Yeah,
Was
they,
I
they
right?
were behind me, and people are like seven into one corner, and no one thinks maybe I should hit the brakes. That's what happened. So like 6 people crashed.
It
It's
was
the biggest crash
hilarious.
I've ever seen.
Biggest
I
crash
also
in Sunday
crashed
League.
because of them.
That was
Yeah,
amazing.
and
This.
for me it was certainly a good race. Not gonna lie, not expecting things to actually go this well.
Yeah, not bad.
There was so much going on behind you.
Yeah,
that
and sadly Gamer on like P7,
Yeah.
so no title fight. Like
Yeah.
at some point I saw like Danny
yeah,
and Gamer in first and second. I was like third, like watching, like grabbing my popcorn.
several times I found Noms. I just passed by Noms, and he had crashed. I don't know what happened, but he surely had a terrible race.
He was fourth in the end.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, he had so many crashes.
He should have won today, but I think the start was like a Frazina, I think, where he just got completely.
I think when we go away from
that-
this, he will be furious that he didn't get a podium today because he came back to fourth despite so many incidents throughout the race.
Oh yeah, by the way, when you said that I was trying to hold Danny behind,
Mm.
that was actually Danny who caused that crash. I can show you the
okay.
recording.
Oh, I also have a crash with Danny.
Commentary over. Fucking
No, it's not. Okay, sorry. Good to have all of that. This has been the Czech Grand Prix. We'll see you next time for the season finale in Lusail.
oh, so you didn't do
Until
your
then.
rundown.
Oh, did I
He
not?
did.
Yeah, I did.
You could paste that in.
I think I
He
did.
did like he talked about He
Yeah.
confirmed the results. Yeah.
I did all
Oh,
of
did
it.
you?
Be quiet, Goose. Right. Anti-Eurus, Girouni, Jake, Kubo, Kraft, Quetzley, Sickers first suicide. I'll do it Matt Gallagher style. Good night.